Lisa Guthrie, Laura Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 981. You might have heard a chain noise. There's actually activity here in the wall. Someone named April is here. Her mother is Catowitz. I just showed a window. That's a hallway. They're actually coming from a crawl space right here. There's actually fire department equipment, and then there's been a drop or three skulking around this weekend, possibly 2 to 3, and a couple dirty security guards. One dirty security guard might be here, one might be here. And there's Dr. Jaffe. He's supposed to be here on Wednesdays. He was here with a girlfriend, and she was threatening me. All insane. And April is kind of a person. She works with Gregory sometimes. And also works at a church center. And there's a male in there threatening, and officer. No, but Dr. Jaffe's retarded son also in there. Three. I think I'm surrounded patients in Washington. Excuse me, I need some water. But what's happening is, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 105, being threatened with gang activity. One of the whores just made another abduction captivity threat. Said, the store, we're going to drive you. It's a hooker. I don't have a contact. I'll smell retarded hookers and bombs. I just heard a squeal of an animal. So they've possibly tortured an animal for its blood. They're sadists. I think it's a cat. And they're torturing me by torturing the animal. And also, April is here, and she's a fat ass. Her mother and she live at the YWCA downtown. And so I just heard a cry, and then I heard somebody breaking its head. And of a demon, and she thinks she's big. I think it was a cat. I think it had a cat in there. So this is Lisa Guthrie. Just heard a cat. Sandra Catowitz at Elizabeth Gregory home. She's a manager. They both live downtown with April. Watch her. It's a mentally deficient little girl. April has sort of a medium dark complexion. She's fat, ugly, and large brown eye here. And it's been streamcasted. There are noises where shouldn't be any noise. So there's this obvious crawl space. There's no apartment, and there's a whore shouting, "You will submit to me." Whore, you're not going to bitch. I'll call the police, and I'm going to have you arrested and committed. You're an ugly bitch. Don't tell me what to do. If I have to call 911, I will. And April was clicking a gun earlier. Remember, she's a daycare worker. And somebody was making of a cat being sacrificed. April, even though she has a little girl and she works at a church, is in on this kind of behavior. This is typical for Washington State. You're not going to tell me what to do. And they're playing innocence may be it. Basically, do is have people enslaved while they sacrifice cats and dogs. So you get 5'6", she's 21. She works at like I said, I think now it's, where is it? Wallingford or Finney, the church. On the bus line, and she works in the basement of a church. And she, shut the fuck up. You're not going to tell me what the fuck to do, you ugly fucking shit ass. Shut up, bitch. Now, there's no relationship to any of these bastards, and they're all pretending that there is. So you've got crazed Dr. Jaffe. He's here. His day is not until Wednesday, and not with me. He works Wednesdays with some of the other people here, if you call them people. Actually, I've written letters of complaints about him. And the thing in the wall thinks he's doing magic. He just his finger. Shut the fuck up to do. If you sacrifice a cat, you're not going to have me do the things you try to tell me what to do. And if you pull a gun on me outside or here, you are in danger yourself, because I will grab it and use it. If I have to use your own weapon, that's fine with me. Sacrificed a poor little kitten, it sounded like. Smashed its head. She said, leave it. I tried to and they're playing Celtic, and the whore is so ignorant she's playing Celtic. That's another story. They basically, these people fell with Satan 13 years ago, and they cursed my favorite people, including Celts. And the whore is just a dirty, ugly, shitty ass whore, just like April. She's a dirty, low-class bum, the daughter of a brute that nobody can stand her at all. They're just, some of them are afraid of her. They're playing through the wall. Start, Billy Hooker, bitch. Start, saw through the wall. Do it, bitch. Come on. Come on, whore. And I'll tape at the same time. So when you pop through, I'm calling one. Now, I can't prove anything about an animal, but there was an animal sad. Now, I have to also tell you that these bums can see and hear and feel the spirit world better than regular people. They took the vow with Satan. By the way, they worked their way through destroying history of mankind and also. You're not going to tell me what to do, ugly bitch. You're not going to. You're an ugly fucking shit ass. There's another shit ass on this side and then a shit ass in the wall. Dr. Jaffe. He's in there half the time smoking crack and swinging whore. I think he was here since last night. I could smell somebody through the wall. I think they go to the bathroom in the crawl spaces. They don't even bother coming out. They're just a big crack house. I don't shing. Like a little kitten. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Whoever it was, I heard it. Agenda against, and I'm going to name the dead against people in history, and I'm going to tell you who they are. Now, they're people in the U.S., include ethnicity, ashamed of it. So you've got Black Americans, Asians, and they tried to the Black Nazi. They just referred to something they do, and I didn't know the terminology or the term, and it was one of the bums called it tar baiting. I think what he meant, which is what they do, they will absolutely have people of color of a gang threaten people and abuse them, and then, of course, the person's victim is a rape. By the way, one of the readers here, he's talking, and if you believe it or not, he's talking to a plane about a bottom. And they're playing, we have your room. We're going to have your room. No, that ugly turd bag is the security guard. The security guard doesn't work here. He's here illegally. He's here all the time, just skulking around, pretending to be a policeman. One of the whores doing. And she's playing, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I think, by the way, I think the whore buys the cat left a live smashed head with a smashed head. who are saying it's your mother. And so hopefully the so that some help comes, get lock up the whole of affected everyone. There are Americans left, but especially, and the black guy down the hall, he just did a head attack. He said, "My own gets to ticket you." See, that's the racist crap that these things. If you think about Nazis, they basically lived off the U.S. for the last 80 years. And my own gets to target you. And one of the other bums played Hold You. So the retarded I've been here have threatened me with prostitution, slavery, illegal kidney trade, murder, abuse, and assaults. Like not an officer. Dr. Jaffe was saying, "You're going to let me assault you, and my girlfriend will hold you." That's an alleged doctor. And the horror, there's a... Oh, I just blew back out. She's working with children, and a person who possibly sacrificed an away from April, she's threatened me with that herself, and she's in on it. She's probably done quite a few. So America's done, and they're saying this recording. And let me tell you what else they've threatened me with: kidnapping, murder, captivity, including in people's apartments, rape in people's apartments, slavery. Let me show you what the place looks like. Let me show you where some of the bastards and whores playing blah, blah, blah and snapping her fingers. She thinks she's magical. And that's April. And here is, and Obama's playing It's Our World, and it's a black guy down the hall. And so a lot of these bums threatening, see where the windows are open? The other side's hallway. These are direct windows. And the dirty security guard retard, he hangs out in people's apartments. He seems to floor. I have camping equipment here. Can't even leave that out. Can't even take it in my storage. One of the told me that he was going to my storage room or having somebody there, and I smelled and take a chance being attacked with it. And like even if I wanted to take camping equipment, why? They could start a fire. Well, you can't have kerosene there anyway. I couldn't leave kerosene here. Someone would start a fire. The place has been entered since day one. Also, they've accessed the pipes and poured down urine, phlegm, menstrual blood. They've also, and there's a racist agenda. She's one of the bad ones. So remember, it's not just about whites. So it is in on decimating people in here, such as Greeks. Wanna take some camping equipment in and ask somebody to drive me there, that I'm not here, obviously, but another volunteer, not that she's normal. Can't take it now because they've threatened actually April and her mother, Sandra Katowitz, and their agenda is to have rape and it's not, I'm talking shit ass. You're gonna shut up, you ugly fucking whore. She's threatening me, and she said you'll never. Oh, I'm using something that never recover. Examples. So it gets to walk around, you ugly fucking. Would you like that shit bitch? Would you like that dirty shit ass? Oh, and then this shit ass plane, I'm going to open up the floor. So shit ass is going to open up the floor. well, shit ass, it might make noise and I might be able to call 911 ass. Even if I don't, to a premise, you just heard the fucking whore threatening to open up the floor. That was April. Shut your fucking maggot. Oh, she's the granddaughter. Shut up, you fucking bitch. Her mother, Sandra Katowitz, worked at a porn shop and involved in this market. Shut up and don't talk to me, you ugly fucking whore. This leads police to opening up floors, opening up walls, even opening up ceilings if they can't get to you. And usually, what does an apartment have on duty? Maintenance man. He was saying, just shoot her in the face, police will cover it up. It's 3 policemen, officer of the West is involved, and his gay boyfriends on the Pike Place Market that are security guards and not real policemen, but they are his gay. And so you know how lovers are, just like when a woman looks at the man and she thinks he's powerful, starts bassing people around, started a witch hunt against me, joined with these Satanist devils, live broadcast. Oh, and by the way, one of the whores just mentioned a bottom again, a bottom. So again, a retard mentioned the word a bottom. And so you get these fucked up shits on a tangent, they're not going to let go. They're going to play Kathy or Michael or Biden or whatever. Now let me tell you, if you'd come in 13 years ago, everybody, you would have been... And excuse me, of course the management downstairs will think that they are innocent, but I'm going to tell them about the property destruction. Lisa Guthrie, where the sound is coming from, property destruction of like walls or talking on streaming video, and you know, I can't tell you where the sound was coming from. I'll just tell you I was on streaming video. Okay, yeah. Okay, thanks. So acting like this. The wall, whore downstairs. The secret was the bums, the shittiest DNA they could. New like April. She's the daughter of a drunken bitch. Obviously her eggs were ruined. And her daughter looks retarded for it. I'm not speaking to her. Blah, 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 blah. You're not going to have her way, according to what I hear, you fucking ugly bitch. 3 years, ugly bitch. And a lot of these things in the wall that are hiding, and a lot of these, by the way, they have email stinky blood, including from Elizabeth Gregory. So one of the whores just made an arms threat, like cutting off arm. One of the bums is playing It's Your Friend. Does it look like I have friends? False relationships. And so she said, you're going with us when you go to and so she was making a kid captivity threat. There are no friends, and it's funny because the gang members themselves cursed me and pretty friends. Well, guess what I arrived at? I haven't about anyone. The only people I care about are, well, I care about animals and nature, by the way. That's not people. I care about other countries. On the surface, bums in Washington, but I don't hold out any hope that you're, not a zombie. So that seems to be an impossibility. And the zombie mechanism is very destructive, just like you've seen on movies. The more you're exposed to a zombie, the zombie mechanism kicks in, and there you are, you're a zombie. These are zombie Satanist cards, and they will go after you with an inhuman hate, and it's the same bums who even be masturbating with you line across the sea on Yahoo or whatever. Yahoo, excuse me, in the masturbating. Why would I throw in? It wouldn't be any of these men, but let's say there were some. They also have the same personality. It might be this ugly street tramp like April, ugly fat slob like April. And oh, by the way, it's so dangerous in here for me. I shouldn't even have knives in my sink. Oh, and I want to show you what the water did here. Which I have to lock this up. I need to lock it. So, because of do experiments, but I've never seen a knife do this before. And they throw, like I said, urine, fecal, phlegm, menstrual blood, semen, but they've also put in, hair dye. They've reversed it so I'd get people's sewage. They put in sewage. They've put in actual diseases. They bragged about cholera, smallpox, and radiation. The deal is, I will take samples. So, either there's something in it, or there's going to play it both ways. And the dirty cops, when they want to hurt somebody, let's say they're friendly with someone, they'll keep you locked into the role of victim. Move across the country, the dirty cop would have you raped there, would have people in your 3,000 getting your keys, to ADAC, the same shit would. So these people, they to help me and curse the bastards if you believe it. Why? They don't have their see. Excuse me, I have to curse. All the welfare suckers Satan did the last 30 years and helping more. 10 generations of welfare, 12 generations of shit asses on welfare. And Satan knew that those ugly bastards would destroy everyone. And Stephanie was in the wall earlier too, and she's an ugly heroin addict with a injected her arm off. Transgender Gregory, he was here. Remember, they're all Bloods and Zetas. To rape me, so I'd have to go daily day, and they'll lure pretty much when the gang wants to get rid of you. Remember, the dirty police are involved. They'll make sure you don't have a friend. So that means have everyone try to kill you. One of the whores just stated, everyone, you're just bad for me, and I hope it kills all the zombies. Thinking those good curses off. And the bastard in a wall, and I heard its head crunch. And I went to the closet. I can't solve for the cat anyway. I mean, the bum, the gang member, thing back or something, they're bastards, and I don't want them punks. And they'll face planet. And they find out, oh, she might be Native Army. Too late, racist. I wouldn't even rescue. There was a woman, allegedly a grandmother, who contributed to that DNA. I wouldn't even rescue her. Shut up, bitch. You are a restroom. So, my favorites. Goodbye. So they'll please find people to infect you. Remember, and I told you they're in on cholera. Syphilis. They'll put syphilis in your hand cream, so you on your face cream, so you put it in your eye. Syphilis in your contact lens stuff. Maybe herpes. Maybe herpes in your lip stuff. And sometimes, now these and doctors, because they love, remember, they love government, they love law and order, they love nurses, or excuse me, medical science, because they can use them in the game. And them friends they have that are officials, they themselves protect their officials. Contractors and carpenters in business. Why would they love carpenters? Well, then when they break into your apartment or home, so let's say they broke into the floor here like that. So she might, just like the dirty cop who threat 8, just 8, maybe even wider than that. So they would probably have to make a wide. So April, they're playing butcher shop, one of especially, that will bury people without a death certificate, because black Nazis and other subversives, they like to also falsify or leave out paperwork. And one of the whores is blah, 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 kill somebody that might be precious. How's your granny, you fucking whore? Show her her granny. Started recording. And remember, she and her mother live at the YWCA downtown. It's on 3rd. They're 3rd in Virginia, I think. And now there are 2 YWCA locations. Her mother's Sarah Catowitz. So if you need to know her, to avoid her. So her mother's about 5'10", works at Elizabeth Gregory Home, and she's in her 50s maybe. 40s. And they're, guys, one of the bumps here is playing Dairy Queen and Identical. So what does that gibberish mean? He's using a code, but he's also trying to use a magical application, like a lever or something. Excuse me, I have to curse them. Oh, and they were calling niggers. Oh, excuse me. They were saying the word "n" earlier, and they were calling people that were Roman N's. They've called people that were Irish N's, and I said the word, sorry, but they were calling people N's, including Norwegians, and so even if you wanted to protect your grandmother, you've got black Nazi retards that got to protect grandmother. So they played, I think they outplayed their hand. It's sort of like, let me tell you what else they do. So they'll do a bunch of stories. Like they'll say, we're scientists, she is in a lunatic compound and we're experimenting on her and it's perfectly fine. We're in Russia. She gave us the agreement. See, she says yes right here. She wrote yes. And she's fine. We're her kid. She's gang rape. She was with all these men. It was her fantasy. I gave her a fantasy. See, I'm holding her here. I'm hugging her. So whatever sort of store up to suit the occasion, they will. So April and Sandra Catowitz and the rest of Elizabeth Gregory Home and the Gregory Home people, including a big fat black female. She's not very dark. She looks like a fat and so scummy. You can lure them into getting them sprinkle glass on someone. That's how scummy these people are. A fat slob, a place to stay this weekend. So then she's going to go off and this area and sacrifice a cat to terrorize me. They might have given her some clothing because the social services work. The more criminal you are, the more clothes you get. Also, the more black Nazi you are, the more stuff you get. The blacker you are, the more stuff you get. Fun of you and probably beat you up. Some Asians have suffered as well, but I'm seeing a lot of Asian Nazis in the U District that are sort of, so I'm not going to worry too much about Asians. They'll say if you're Muslim, they might even oust you unless you're a black Nazi connection. And the black Nazis want to take over all they are the originators of everybody. It was encouraged by that bullshit of, oh, everybody came from Africa, which is not true. And so the black Nazis and the other maggots that will do it for money and property, and they don't care if they destroy whites or others, including of their own nationalities or ethnicities, if they're getting property or money. History was important to me, and so is England's government. Was Europe. It is important to me, and so is Russia. The Ukraine is important. A lot of the Semites, the Semites are important to me. And if you think back in history and you think, oh, well, what about those such and such, blah, 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 and they're fighting and blah, blah, blah. Well, we would be nothing people that went after the and others, including the black Nazi, go after Jews. Well, we forget who was a Jew, don't we? Also forget were. So black after a race before them, we wouldn't have had much of what we consider civilization. And what about Anglo-Saxons? Yes, what about those people? Well, we wouldn't have much without them either, would we? So is have me as a forced representative, and like one of them said earlier, oh, England will trust her, so we're going to use her. And so they think they're also going to force people into fighting side by side with black Nazis and hold them as literal captives. Sometimes they'll call it loose captivity, where like a black Nazi ugly scum will have some drippy infection thing follow you around, and you sit by the drippy infection thing, which I used, some hooker or something. And so one of the black Nazis, I think it is, was yapping off. And so basically what's going to end up, it'll be a 911 call, because I'm not going to put up with that crap. And April's threatened me, and so has a black repulsive sounding is talking to me from the inside of that area. April threatened to squeeze one off. One of the bums just threatened to squeeze one off. So she's probably walking is dangerous. So if you're listening, April is very dangerous. The rest of them are dangerous. And April, remember, she's working with kids. What if she pull the kids for hostage because she's mad because she paid $12 an hour and they're 13, touching their private parts. Now, I tell you that all the Bloods and Zetas and Black Nazis, these people talking about children, and one of the whores earlier, she was behind the pick up a little girl or a little boy. April, who has a child and she's with a daycare, well, it's sort of strange how somebody sat in the sink area earlier and said, will pick up a child. And they've done this before. My hands. Well, whatever it is, whore, I'm going to wash the doorstep with it, and it's going outside with me. This boss doesn't even carry it with me wherever. Lazy! The Bloods and Zetas, part of their red kitty porn, and disappear, and then it's one of them. But I've actually had to talk to my bank, and I even get nervous now myself when I overspend the budget and something was ordered on, and I had to tell the bank because I thought, oh my gosh, that different bank, what if they don't think it's me? So I'm in touch with my because I put stricter measures. The security guards that come here from this market, but also on his last name, he hit me up because I wouldn't be a prostitute. And I called somebody's threatening me with heroin right now. And then there's a gang rape. When I wasn't a prostitute, he tried to portray me as a prostitute. And then there's a fat ass. And he's too afraid to call 911 because usually he is actually so liquored up and so stoned on or high on crack. 911, and if I offer to call 911 for him as he's threatening to take me away in some weird scheme where he's skulking in the janitor's room with one of the gay security guards, officers, Bobby's gay cat, water supply, and defecating whores. Department, they're chanting a name repeatedly, and so are the other demon out his name repeatedly. I think I've heard it before, and one thing that they did when I put curse on me, pressure you. You're just going to get interviewed, bitch. If I have to stick this thing in your fucking face, which I have, on the bus, and get you on a gurney, I'm going to. Otherwise, well, if you enter this apartment, including sawing through the floors, I have the legal right to defend myself. The rusty knife near me, though, isn't that funny? It's all rusty. I don't have a gun. But I'll tell you what the Seattle Police Department will do, and I've seen this for over 20 years. They'll portray a woman who's being threatened, especially if she's bigger or looks white. They'll portray the rapist as a kind, gentle man. Wouldn't hurt her, oh, disabled. So this actually happened to a person. She took the fall with Satan, so she's no good now. But over 20 years ago or so, or 18 years ago, she, this woman that I knew, she's Native, by the way. She was an ex-hooker, but she hates hookers. And she was pretty crusty and fine, beard kind of temper. She'll come at you with a gun practically. And she's not afraid to use it. But anyway, not threatening you, I'm just saying. She's a colorful person. And, you know, I liked her all those years ago. But I remember there was a man who terrorized her. And she'd gotten older and disabled. And his name was Barney Baylor. And he said to her over and over, he said, you don't know who I am. You don't know who my family is. Well, she showed me one day, and apparently there was somebody in the city of Seattle that worked, for the city and had the same last name, Baylor. This is the way things are run in Seattle. So, complaining. Why? Well, I have asthma, allergies, and chemical sensitivities. This was before Tri-Court. I believe I was set up at Tri-Court. They offered me this apartment, supposedly smoke-free and wouldn't have meth fumes. There was this terrible meth, I guess, odor. I've never used meth or cooked it. There was, and a bums chanting. So the black Nazis always, yes, you went. Would you like to be on a gurney, bitch? You open your fucking yaps to people, you're going to start ending up on gurneys, like everybody else. Or fuck you. Look like one color to me. Gurney. Get your pajamas on. What are they, blue? Okay. One color. You wanted one color, you ugly bitch. Ting! One color. Or orange. How about orange? Bing! Jumpsuit. With a chain. Get it? So, anyway, if you like other countries, I want you to try to tell them what I'm talking about. And remember, I'm under a death threat, so I can't. Hookers that was in the wall, she smelled like sweat and fucking sausage. Why don't you go set yourself up, pro man? How about that? They'll probably. I would. Anyway, so what was I saying? Crazy what I was saying now because of all the shit asses. So there were a lot of 10 years ago. So terrible smell in a building that was a crazy building. They all are. It was low income. I have asthma, chemical sensitivities, chronic fatigue, blah blah blah, bleeding ulcers. Had time above my head. Officer Bobby tried to break my arm. And sometimes it's quite lumpy when I have to carry stuff. You can see a deformity of the muscle. Compare arm size. Officer Bobby of the Seattle Police Department slammed me up against. This was at the. I know he was mad at his fag friends, his booth buddies, that extort money and pretending to be working here. I'm going to go crazy one day for hostage or start sacrificing these in front of them. She did. It isn't American anymore. So anyway, so Mary, I won't call her, I'll just call her by her name. Mary Alice and I don't have contact really with her anymore. But she and I were trying to address situations in our building because she had chemical sensitivities and allergies. Head and uterus, by the way, they're going to if you believe that. Here. Now, what gang members do. The bloods, these stomach meds, I have to take a couple a day or other. I vomited blood here, and I vomit anyway. There's for my allergy, and that's for diabetes. And then there's, I forgot the steroid. Like that. And then, anyway, and I were complaining about primarily a smell of moth crystals. This creepy guy at this building was cooking up alleged just moth crystals. Now, I looked it up on the net. He probably was cooking up meth. And Mary Alice stated that he was carrying out brick blocks of something every day. She was also afraid. She said she would see prostitutes going in and not coming out. He was, and there's a whore playing, quick, it's her friend, and they just took head. So the whores and bums, by the way, they're ugly black Nazis. We've all seen them. Ugly black Nazis, others what to, and they're ugly and nobody fucking wants them. His name was Mr. Mooney. Kind of an ugly man. I think he sounded like he was from Indies. And anyway, so Mary Alice claimed prostitutes were going in and out, but not coming in and out, but just staying, but never coming out. She'd watch the monitor. I don't know about that. So anyway, I just mentioned there was this terrible smell. So you might say dealer that smells like excrement. Why is he magic? He's not. Because he would direct everybody inferior, like April and the other crap. Guards that security out behind the sink. Sounds like an ugly old woman. He kind of looks like an ugly old woman. Looks like a round thing atop another, like a pillow. Okay? Mary Ellen and I were complaining about the smell, and because it was constant. We knew that under normal circumstances, people would have listened. The city will shut you down. Notice if you've got child molesters all over the market that aren't enforced, and there's a daycare center there. Just she's in child molestation and and by the way, the people ended up late. They're in with April. She's good friends with them. She's got a kid, and she's working. Remember where? She's working at a daycare center in a church. So the whore said, "You're going to a little girl, and a little boy." One of the a couple of the males here have actually made orgasmic noises when they said little boys and talked about little boys. So has Stephanie. She has a dirty, drippy heroin addict. I have to laugh because she's one of those beautiful women. And she's practically just missing the Adam's apple. She's ugly, she's gross, she's smelly, dirty, and you could actually vomit through the wall smelling her. I can use my clean scent of because I'm clean with the packages and I washed my backpack. I smelled April's rot. Or not April's rot, but April stinks too sometimes. So sometimes can't get there, and she smells like a dirty, stinky man. Not as cute though as Pigpen. April has been taking the bus on Aurora lately. Watch out for her. She's about 5'6". She's got a medium tan complexion, big brown eyes, and I think she has white earbuds. And so she'll be on Aurora. She and her mother will be toddling under the weight of they take the extra from Elizabeth Gregory. April and her mother take the top. She and her mother are taking the best off the top of YWCA too. One of the Nazi males at least. He's the YWCA Hispanic girl by giving her painkillers. They should be leveled to the ground. By the way, they threatened to level England. It was one of the Nazis' security. He threatened to level England. He's always making some BOMB plot around. He's called himself, and they've called themselves militia. Remember about Officer Bob? Officer, it's from when the mother has taken steps, possibly. Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 Aurora, Seattle, Washington, 98133. And I've been talking about people. There's a horror playing abducted. So she's threatened me. So a lot of crime comes out of this building at 10507 Aurora Avenue, North Washington, 98133. So if you're hit 7 times with glass coming out of this building and you're on the E line, by the way, that's a surprise if you're connecting with this. That's been a crime against me, including people sprinkled it in my clothes, and it makes never use needles. And by the way, that's a they're called in my glass. I was trying to scrape up glass. There's a horror play. Incidentally, no one will listen to you. Excuse me. So April will take time. By the way, 5 bucks. I've spoken of her. She's a nasty pig. Sort of a medium tan complexion, Satanist, on either side of 5th and Aurora. Off with their load of stuff lifted right from the very best of Elizabeth Gregory chair with their mother. Sort of a harsh looking 5'9", 5'10". They're very loving. They're almost like they kind of remind me of something like a surprise they haven't molested. I think April has. Works at a daycare center in early. There was some sort of cat sacrifice. If I open the door, that's just a closet. This is one of the persons that was keep the closet open. This gang in Seattle, Blood Zetas and Asian Street gangs, but mostly Blood Zetas, they are absolutely famous for having a wall or even a ceiling or razor out a window. It's not a big problem. In fact, there was a woman at Elizabeth Gregory too, transgender. Her name is Clara. She sprinkled me with glass. April's mother had her do, and sort of looks like a frog face with lots of wrinkles, and then wears dresses all the time. She sprinkles, and she's probably gotten a little gang, like a gift certificate or something. She's telling me about where to live, and it links with Officer Bobby. He beat me up, and he was mad because I insulted his little gay boyfriends. He's deforming my... and one of the... You're going to be on your knees tonight. You yourself shot by bitch. You shit ass. You're not telling me what I do. I'm going to you up all the way, bitch, and I will call no one as breaking in because or anyone else. Revolt, smelly Nazis, and other shit. It's the best. Get them put in prison and jail. Nazi retard that nobody wants. It's not your women, you fucking shit ass bitch. How underneath all apartments, they're called hotel, sleeping close to the door. bum is me again. It's an ugly. Why don't you get back and picking your nose? That's the second floor. Beacons is 12:41 afternoon. It is Sunday. Talking about Wednesday. And he said usually we about how probably how till Wednesday to kidnap. I was talking about one of the whores. A lot of these bums will use repeat it. So you'll see bums playing over and over. My theory is, and here's a fun one, you could take and put the way call Seattle Soviets or Russians. They don't know where the hell they are. So you put that black Nazi bastard away, you know what day it is. I think Wednesday. Can you tie your shoe? Oh, he's playing married you. Nobody would marry a smelly monkey like you. And monkeys to me. Which leads me to the fact that when they dealt with Satan and crawled out of the hole, basically, 13 years ago, they resurrected used animal. So when a gang tries to pretend you're prejudiced so they can commit a crime, they're calling it tar baiting. I heard them talking about it today. And now Irish people. Well, I hope the Irish start rounding up the smelly. They can't even tie their own shoes, a lot of them. White crack whores. See, that's the whole thing. It's not that they're cleverly hiding in welfare. It's that they couldn't have coped without welfare. They might be physically fine, but they're going to fuck that up, too, with drugs and alcohol. Shut the hell up, you ugly fucking bitch. That smelly bitch. You're ugly. No one wants to see your cheeks either. Like moving in and out. Shaky cheeks that look like a butt. Shut butt face. Ugly face that nobody wants. They're playing Jesus. The thing mattering on, I keep saying this, 13 years ago you didn't have to nattering that are insane maniacs as much, but now with the fall of Satan opened up a channel. It's like, what? Insane maniac wants pizza? Oh. So, you want to talk about the biggest man in the world, besides the retarded freaks in America? Satan. Demons. They're stupid. Fallen angel. Nazi, you're not going anywhere. Why don't you run around, black bitch? Fag. Nice gay guy, you said. Well, I wouldn't be calling it a fag. There are no in the U.S. Or at least not, and they just took a large soul amount. And they're playing Linda. Release Linda. So one of the favorite games of the gang members is to portray my soul, my auras, my... They're using a lot of energy fields. They look like long ropes. And remember, April's a baby killer, and she's going to be back to work. Probably schedule starts, so she can put her hands on someone's kid, and she's hands on the little girl. I think, I won't go into detail. You know what you did, April. You know what you did with her? Fess up, April the molester. April, the child molester, put her hands down the pants of her 4 years old. Fess up, April. Remember, she's going to be at a church working on a daycare. A church. Now, child molester here, that is Stephanie, and she also, besides going into raptures like the men over, like sick rapture over the thought of molesting people, she also plot to, I think she gets pregnant. She probably just rolls over something with the drip or something, I don't know. But anyway, and probably gets pregnant. You know how maggots are. You know how people like that are. But anyhow, she actually was talking about molesting someone, pictures, and blaming someone. Hear that? It's a female. She's crazy. She used to volunteer. She said they've got guns. She said you're going to miss guns. No, actually, I'm going to get them shot by ATF. I think ATF might shoot. That'll be fun, won't it? Won't that be fun? Have a bunch of black Nazis shot, eat their own words, a bunch of other shit too, including a dirty cop. Woo! I'll just call the cops. Am I threatening to shoot them? No, talk about it. And this is being broadcast. So this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133. And there's shit out. I found another solution. Shut your fucking yap, bitch. I don't want to hear you about that. That's the fuck. Shut your fucking shit ass mouth. Was playing also, and then have somebody clean out your account, and then you'll be a slave out by the garbage, like the hookers in the wall, like April have your shirt or whatever she wanted. The fuck is going? Excuse me. What is going on? Get yourself killed. You're gonna get gentleman or a bottom closet. And she was waving a gun around, telling me she was going to fire off one or squeeze one off. And if you can call another state Homeland Security, that'd be great. Because if they talk to the corrupt cops of the Seattle Police Department, the Seattle Police Department will pretend it didn't happen. I'll be murdered. They'll just clean the floor up and the walls, whisk me away for these bastards, and they'll try to cover up anything, even my handprint, my hand that's been actually maimed by acid in the water, and those gang members glass everywhere. Someone in it. So let's show that other hand. Remember, and now let me tell you, a law enforcement official or agent, you can test the Seattle Police Department and see if they're sane and rational. Ask 3 hands. Now, if you're a forensic expert, you would be able to see the glass marks. They're not needle marks. And you also see that, like the red dot occasionally, that's a mole. Cherry hemangioma. These arms used to be tender, sweet, beautiful arms. I sound like a cannibal of myself. I'm not. I'm thinking of like an old, like manuscript, beautiful Victorian manuscript. They were beautiful, and most people's forearms, if you look at them, turn over people's forearms. They're usually beautiful. Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie at 10507 Aurora Avenue, Seattle, Washington. Our law enforcement out there, and even if you're in another state, be even better. And what you could do to determine if Washington State Police or even FBI have anything left, well, look for some earmarks. And I'm not going to be so-and-so. No. Let me tell you some earmarks of the zombie. A, Lisa Guthrie is Satan, which I'm not. B, so that's one of the first. Lisa Guthrie's bad. If they place Guthrie as a prostitute, they've lost all reason and they are a Satanist. I am not kidding you. And they are in on subversive black Nazi cover-ups, and it's not just whites that will be affected. And they're linking to a lot of violence and a lot of trouble around the U.S. and where? The world. What else? If they seem to interject any kind of outrageous statement to you, like they're talking in a code or it sounds outrageous, you can test on other people too, or even if it's somebody you chat to online and they're in. So let's say you're talking about whether we sacrificed her. We sacrificed 6 years ago. Also, there will be outrageous statements like, here's what the gang members will try to do, and I'm interjecting, and I was giving you earmarks. The gang members are referring to etheric body, obviously, but they'll try to have something that seems the past or vice versa. So they might Guthrie, oh, here she is, she's beautiful, oh yes, and then Lisa Guthrie, and there's a couple whores they've been threatening me with, off it, when one whore just threatened to skin me, so a and so one of the whores on the left just threatened to skin me. Think about whores and bums that came here to visit their friends, by the way, and they're from Elizabeth Gregory. Think of what they're involved in. By the way, that skinning threat, that happens on a daily basis, and taunting about how they've skinned victims, that happens on a daily basis. And black Nazis are very much in on body desecration and torture, and so are Bloods and Zetas. They also have a magical belief system that they'll be like skinwalkers and basically assume your identity and run like, 100,000 identities, 200,000, maybe even 1 million, and they're going to get all your money. I'm telling you their belief system. So, they will then run things like, okay, so they'll say, the whore's Lisa, she's fine. Lisa wasn't scratched up like that. No, put her in prison, torture her. One of the retarded psychotic bums, you're double. So he's so psychotic, he's torturing the double. And, then the going back in time again thing, you already were killed. You're not the real person. So old footage of people and also double. So there are 50 missing Europeans and 50 50 from what I know, Europeans and British people and Irish people. And probably a lot of Americans, since 13 years ago, are connected, including with the Pike Place Market security guards. And remember, he claims he's connected with Kim Kardashian. And Dr. Jaffe's, not officer, but Dr. Jaffe's called snuff movies gold. And all of it about snuff movies. See, what's so crazy is, I think about it, they're not in an institution. But what police will try to do is put you in a mental institution to shut you up. That's the tri-court bastard in that wall. He will try to shut you up, and including to sneak around in a crawl space. Look, if I went out to the hall, there's nobody there. It's not a ghost. The bastard is sneaking around in a crawl space. And Seattle Police will also rely on the fact that if they inject somebody quickly enough, even they, because they themselves as police do not want to be spotted. So they absolutely will make sure the victim is unconscious or dead. So if they could for sure that they would get you without you looking there or someone there and they could inject you quickly, then they'll take a chance. Like maybe hiding behind something. Sleep on your couch. What's behind your couch? Where's your couch? So that's a Tri-Court shift. He's now. He was the security guard at Tri-Court. He was also a cop at Seattle Police Department. I also saw him sneaking around with gang members and sneaking around on a rooftop. I believe it was he. Panicking because I told on children. One of the bums is begging yesterday. He's also using ESP, if you believe it. I think it means they snipped its tongue off. The bastard snipped off the tongue of the cat. Nobody's doing anything. What am I supposed to do? Saw open a wall, cleaned up? They'd for me sawing open the wall. Less safe because now, see, I leave the edge. They have to go through a wall that makes an alarm. Bragging about how the cat was making a noise, and he said, "Boy, did it bleed." About it, you could actually test my voice. Grandma, show every one of them. They're playing plasma from you. They're all sick. They all have blood fetishes. They have plasma and spinal fluid fetishes. Yesterday there was from another country. Her mother was with a squalling baby. And the two whores were talking about giving me spinal all day. So the dirty bastards couldn't wait to get into this country and start sucking up. Sacrificed the animal and kept its mouth open. That's why I had a warning. They're using N. How's your ancestors? Have every animal sacrifice all their ancestors permanently. All animals have power over your filth that you call ancestry, bitch. And if you think that's hard, you should see what they did to our ancestries. And remember, it's not just about white. They've targeted Greek people. They've targeted Italians. Not every Russian is, white, white, white. So for 13 years, I've been putting up with not putting up with, but now this department, it was a stocky young guy at the time. He was mad at me because I'd written to some organizations, which wasn't his business, but he came out of the woodwork and he put on some funny gloves and he said, "Looks like you've been writing to a lot of organizations lately." And he came into my house and I told him what I was doing. And he was a young cop, blondish, not ugly at the time. Looked very manly and very muscular. And I was packing it out of Burt Gilman Place Apartments. Now, I had written about how there'd been, I believed, animal sacrifice in the Burt Gilman Place Apartments. And up the hill were the ugly bastards raising their parasites, their maggots. Which includes black Nazi bastards and, scummy crack whore bastards and even a child molester bastard that goes to Thailand, according to his own kids. So, but I have to curse them. That's the ugly blonde. Think you're big, ugly bitch? You're not going to think you're so big, ugly fucker. McFucker. I call American welfare fuckers. Why? McDonald's. McDonald's. Remember, some of the bad DNA also was made worse by preservatives. So you have retarded people like April also because of McDonald's. If I call 911, what are they going to say? They'll just cover up. See, they're just going to say, so I'll just keep broadcasting, and I'm going to get broadcasting methods. I had to buy a suitcase this month because the other one fell apart. It doesn't keep them out, and I still have scratches from glass, and they'll put semen on your clothes, and they'll follow you around. I want you to the Seattle Police Department as people who played with their own semen, their own fecal, and their buddy's semen, and their own menstrual blood, and also disease cultures. And I want you to remember of America. And I want you to remember the Seattle Police Department and getting rid of anyone good or decent. It's called survival of the shittiest. And I want you to think of America and promoting scum, and then Satan really happy with scum promotion and kill everyone. And there was a bunch of. And I want you to remember scummy zombie years ago that should. One of the retarded, it's possibly the security guard or one of the retarded guys, he's chanting about heavenly. So you want to block. So these bastards' premise was to do evil and then to present themselves as beings of light. How would they achieve that? They just took head. So, and they're playing April. They're playing career April and they just took head. So what does that tell you about April? Gross, ugly green zombie with nothing in it. They should have died 13 years ago. One of the reasons they have animals is because they're made of animal parts. I believe. And now, these people also went after pretty any talent, like they wanted to destroy them, like Hitler did. Hitler was the. You know that. Same with these people. Right here. Oh no, that wasn't. And about it, they were thinking or had offered my own doctor a $15,000 trip to Europe, golf trip. And I believe there's a connection to my clinic, to my nasty relatives that took the fall. There was an acrimonious fallout with them anyway. Because of a house, and my mother died. So my half sisters and it's a niece. Her laws. Let's see. Law married a guy who is now a doctor at U of Dub. So it's people this were involved in the fall with Satan cursing. Hiding you, blah, 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 yap, 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 you, playing gallant. When you hear one of the retardos talking about, they're talking about blood. This is a male. He was bragging about the cat losing blood, or it was messy. Well, see, they're in. To tell you something interesting about these people. You mention their own demise, and here's what they start doing. This is a thing that I'm talking by Psy. You know what they start doing? Oh, and one of them talks sawing off my arms. There could be a hell I ever consider on them. Ones I've treated, I sort of ignore them. But obviously, if it's a federal, you check things incorrectly. You don't want to forget your nail from the dollar store that he. And just like you can't have a sheriff's department that's coming down and hanging in the wall, hanging out the walls, masturbating, and screwing whores and pretending that it's an investigation. Mentally disturbed officer does. If you're Dr. can't have your mentally disturbed retarded son, they're both retarded. You can't have your mentally retarded sons portraying themselves as with the police or a doctor because of their relative. But see, they're playing ticker or kicker. Oh, Watts earlier, by the way, was to wedge a foot in the door, get in that way. So someone was going to come close by me in through the door and then put in the door. Well, I have to think of my legalities. But once they enter my apartment, I don't think it's that illegal to tape them up and call 911. In fact, it's he should be grateful for that option. You tape her up, 911. That's really a nice option for the. So they've got some whores behind here, and she's making cutting noises with a scissor. Usually they'll threaten me. They're playing tased. The dirty are actually from Officer Bobby in the army that is from guns that were supposed to have been destroyed. So got it. And don't ever that the subversive attacks with terrorists. Not just but because they are terrorists. In my mind, I do not see the difference between terrorists and gang members. So let's see some more recognition enforcement. Well, there's a mole. It's a pretty good camera. Here's more of the mark. Let's see some mark. Hi, 507, Washington 98133, and I'm in Unit 329, and I'm talking about how they're down. They're hiding in what I believe is a crawl space because when I went out to the hallway, there's nobody there, and there is fire department equipment. Does implicate firemen. They're already implicated because there is illegal surveillance, and it implicates at least. And they portray. So with actual gathering of evidence, you wouldn't be having retarded like the guy hallway to you or looking at you. Real big dirty joke of the neighborhood. You have to realize they're all. So there's some bums that walk that go ahead. They're protected permissions, and now but at least 3 dirty cops on here, and then the report told them to do it. That it's. Well, if they're that stupid, shouldn't they be locked up in an institution for the rest of their life? Just played Lady Jungle. One of the favorite things that the gang members do and you to sign your rights, they will try the ones. Isn't that funny? I used to be by gangs, the police department, which I recently, the full import really gangs. I just realized, who they that's an arc of Satanism, by the way, the Betty game. My deceased mother. And you don't know their names, also back those names. But those names, and to get either A, blackmailing me, like, oh, hurt your dead grandma, she's in the spirit world, she's next to me. And remember, Satan gave these, picked the. Now, April's moved around to the janitor's room. Women. Works there, and her name is Katowitz. Mention. Somebody's worried about a son that was around April because she's apparently molested her own child. So April's apparently molested 2 children. Well, April molested 2 children. Is Sandra Katowitz. And they live at the YW. They live in the apartments. April picked up. Uh-oh. Me. One of the bums is talking as me. Lisa said it's a diplomat ball. It's an ugly bum hiding in a janitor's room. Let's say Jack. See, now, police, I can't even have a prayer that protects policemen. We want to go home to Abaddon. What's the first test? A, Lisa's evil. Lisa got evil. They think that they're a Satanist. If they're a Satanist. If they're a Satanist. If they throw an odd word in when you're talking to them, and let's say they're talking their new shoe, and then they start talking in the closet, and yeah, there's tells. And what? Oh no, they call something by a weird name. This is Kathy. How about if they say the word words Italian? And am I making trouble for Italians? No, I'm just telling you. A lot of people will use these names of people that they are not themselves. A lot of the black Nazis will call themselves Italian. They'll call themselves Norwegians. And then the word my, used by an American. My Norwegians, my special, are very violent, and they actually think that they own royalty, including things like about it. How about like sort of a parent that they might 4. And it takes story. I'm not kidding. To have cannibalism. They're not very bright, and they, that no horse just talking about how it'll be covered up or something. They just took chest. Earmarks of the saying that someone owes earmarks. You that are nothing. Deficiencies stamped on their ugly face. Stamped on, smell the urine. And those things will address you with pride like you won't believe. That was a funny segue, wasn't it? Is trying to have that family destroyed, and I will have them all arrested and committed, taken away by CPS. It's two bastards. I will have the dirty bastards taken away by PS, you ugly shit ass. I've destroyed the fucking bunch of blacks. Black Nazis, typical. How many years on welfare? Oh gosh, 80. Maggots? You ugly, scummy nigger. Oops!